119,000 foreclosures, the highest in over 6 years. Yeah, you probably saw this number this week in the news. And look, the number's real. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's fake news. But there is one fact missing from that headline that's really important to understand what's going on. And once you see it, you're never going to read a housing headline the same way again. My name is Eric Hamilton. I'm a top 1% loan officer in the country, and I work with buyers all over the United States. But here's what makes this channel a little bit different. I don't do fear. I don't do hype. I don't cheerlead the market. I just run the numbers and study them. Every claim you hear from me, I can show you the data behind it, because that is the whole game. The headlines are built to scare you. My job is to give you the clarity to see straight through them. So if you're thinking about buying anywhere, stick with me for the next few minutes. This could generally save you from a huge mistake. Subscribe so the next video finds you easily. Okay, so here's what's been going around in the news. Foreclosures are up 26% from last year. That's right around 119,000 homes. Most we've seen in over 6 years. And again, all of that is true. I'm not arguing that the data is not accurate. What I want to do is show you the part that the post in the article left out. So highest in 6 years sounds massive, right? The reality is that foreclosures are a normal part of the market and always have been. But that 6 years part, that's the trick and the problem with the story. So let's think about it. Let's go back 6 years. That is 2020, the height of the pandemic. And during the pandemic, the government basically hit pause on foreclosures. They turned them off for a period of time while COVID was going on. So when somebody compares today to 2020, they're comparing to the lowest point that we have ever had in foreclosures. Of course, almost any number is going to look like a spike when you compare it to what was essentially zero. Now, here's a number that Post really did not want sitting next to it. Look at how many homes actually get a foreclosure filing, not the raw count, but the actual percentage. Back in 2008 crash, it was 2.23%. That is more than 1 out of every 50 homes. In 2019, a totally normal, boring year, and nobody was talking about foreclosures, it was 0.36%. And today, we're still sitting at 0.26% of all homes in the United States. So let that land for a second. We're not anywhere near a crash. We're actually still below a normal market. Now, is the number going up? Of course it is. I'm not going to pretend it is not, but we have to keep it in perspective. And here's the part that matters. Let's look at why it's going higher, because this isn't people walking away from bad loans like it was in 2008 when the number was over 2%. These loans got checked carefully before anybody got approved and strictly underwritten. The real pressure that's going on, it's coming from the cost of owning the home, not the mortgage itself. Home insurance jumped 12% last year. The average bill is now almost $3,000. And you also have to think about death, divorce. There's a lot of other reasons why homes go into foreclosure. Then you have property taxes that hit a record, almost $4,500 a year average, and then HOA fees keep climbing. That's what's actually squeezing people. It's all the bills around the house, not the actual loan itself. So here's the honest takeaway that you have to think about. Foreclosures are a very normal and, quite honestly, a healthy part of every single housing market. They never hit zero, and they're never supposed to. A market with zero foreclosures isn't healthy. It's frozen. And you have to keep that in mind. And what we've got right now is a market just walking back to what's considered normal. It's not falling off a cliff, and it's nothing to be concerned about. There's a quick question for you, actually. Have you ever seen a headline that scared you enough to put your home search on hold? Drop it in the comments. I'll tell you straight whether that data backs it up. But whatever you do, don't let a headline talk you out of a smart move, because the people who win in this market, they're the ones that are running the numbers before any emotion takes over. The best thing you can do when buying a home is to study and analyze the data before you ever see a home. Once you see a home, you become emotionally invested. And if you want to know exactly where you stand before you ever write an offer, that's literally what I do every single day. You can start at my website, 100homebuyers.com. And hey, if you gave even a little peace of mind, do me a favor. Send this video to one person you know who's scared to buy right now. Trust me, that share helps more than you think.